But there is a certain trend in the world right now where more and more people are finding that isolation is the best is to be more
It's
set up.
Appealing.
Appealing, yes.
yeah. That's probably not a good thing.
This is what happens when you have too much vocabulary. You can't figure out the one you want to use, and then you can just use a simple one, and then everything will be alright.
Yep.
That's why they should redo the SAT
Can confirm, am simple man.
and simple man. Haha, you simpleton! I believe the word you're looking for is ophidiophobic.
What does that even mean?
Fear of snakes.
Of snakes?
Yep.
Oh.
Fear of Delometer.
I would have never even known this.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And oath-phobic.
Oh,
Fear
something-
of oaths.
Something else people are complaining about in Monster Hunter Gen is that the new big giant final boss of the game, A, there's only one of them, B, he's easy as fuck.
Huh.
so
That's another thing people are complaining
Even on
about.
G rank?
There's no G
There is
rank.
no G
Or
rank.
So
not G rank? Okay.
there's no G rank, so, you know,
Easy as fuck.
yeah.
especially to you.
I haven't played the game, so...
Well, you've done G rank.
I've done G rank, yeah, but G rank and, like... G rank is mostly artificial difficulty. Like, first off, any game with Zinogre in it is a terrible game. I'm sorry, Zinogre is a terrible, absolutely fucking awful monster. He is handled very poorly, and his hitboxes need to be not invisible. Like, that motherfucker can hit you, like, he can do a tail slam and, like, cause an invisible, like, earth-shattering force that hits you from, like, out of fucking nowhere. And he can do a forward charge where you can be by his tail and he can still hit you with it. It is not okay.
That sounds
thing.
dumb.
And the worst part is that people like him. What the hell? I know he's a super edgy wolf shit and wolf.
Me?
dude
Oh, is
things.
that why people like him?
It's like a giant electric wolf with broken hitboxes, and people like it.
That just shows you that we're crazy. That humanity as a whole is insane.
Like, what the hell, guys? He's not. And then he has a subspecies which has 0 openings, homing projectiles, and the same broken hitboxes, except now he can do more attacks at once.
Oh boy.
And people hate him, like, very, very much, for different reasons, even though they're essentially hating him for the exact same reasons, because that's what they're complaining about. And it's the dumbest thing I've ever seen, and no one believes me, and I have no idea why I'm rambling, because everyone will try to convince me, oh, Zinogre is so cool, la 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 la. I was like, I like Plesioth, because he's not actually hard. He might have broken hitboxes, but he's not actually like, but it's not like game breaking. Oh my god, I can't believe shut down the game right now type. Because I Lance. Just pick up a Lance. Everything in the game would be you'll open you up. Anyone who's watching this that plays Monster Hunter, just use Lance. If you're already using Lance, good on you.
Use more Lance.
Exactly. So that was my Monster Hunter rant. That's probably gonna be it, unless I can think of something right now.
And a rant it was.
Oh yeah, not Monster Hunter games, like God Eater. There's a couple games that share the same Monster Hunter quote-unquote style. Like God Eater, where everything has 0 tells whatsoever.
Oh, that's
Where
just silly.
there's no tell. Monsters, like enemies in the game, have no tells. you can actually see if your attack is effective or not, like the elemental capabilities and how much damage you're exactly doing. Hitboxes exist when they want to. Like, I have seen my character, like, I have seen him, like, completely phase through enemies' bodies, and at other times be, like, 100 feet in the air and still get hit by, like, a body slam.
What?
It's funny to watch, I think. It's kind of infuriating to have it be done to you, but it's sometimes fun. Oh! And one of the major requirements in the video game is to... That was weird. And having an ability that heals you that heals you over time for hitting the monster or being in a certain mode is kind of necessary. It's strangely necessary because everything in the game does like
A million damage.
does dongers for damage, and it's very difficult to bring up the item menu to select healing items because you have to press select and then L and R to select the item, and then press the button to use the item, and then exit out of item mode. So that's really discouraged. But, so God Eater's gameplay isn't actually fun, because it's kind of really annoying. But what actually is fun is the ability to edit bullets.
Edit bullets.
Edit bullets. Okay, so basically, you have a gun, right? You have a sword that's also a gun. There you go. You have multiple...
Gun sword?
Yeah, it changes between gun and sword. Right? The gun part can shoot various different flavors of bullets. Right? So you have the option of, like, fire attack, ice attacks, the usual stuff. But you also have the option to choose what type of bullet it actually is, like how much damage it does, and the path it takes, the type of bullet that it is, the properties of its existence, what it will do when it hits, how to link them. For example, if you shoot a bullet, you can also shoot this type of bullet at the same time. Or if you shoot this bullet, when it hits something, it then combos into this bullet. And it's a big, huge mess of... It's a big, huge
Chaining
mess
shit
of,
together.
like, doing things and what the hell just happened.
Boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boxes. It's just a lot of fun to mess around with.
Wait, that was Golden Bolt.
No, that's
Alright.
rockets.
Okay, they just look a lot like Golden Bolts.
Yeah. It's just really, really fun to mess around with the bullet editor. And then when you're done, you can pay for your bullet, and then you can use it in battle, no matter how useless or stupidly expensive to use it is. It's really fun. That's basically the gist of it. It's really, really, really fun to mess around with.
So what are you trying to do?
I was trying to get balls, but there doesn't seem to be any crates here.
Oh, I saw some crates.
Yeah, but there doesn't seem to be the big multitude that should exist. Like these. Probably shouldn't have bothered now I think about it. Unless the boxes respawn. Always do the double Dharma.
So how many bolts do you need?
150,000. I'm at 125 right now.
So you're somewhat there.
Yep. So yeah. Like, if you ever meet a friend who also has God Eater, or meet someone who also played God Eater, you are guaranteed to never talk about like what the monsters in the game. You're just gonna be rambling on, oh, I made a bullet that does this and does this many damage. Like, oh, that's really cool. Just, can you tell me how to make it? Oh yeah, all you have to do is make it so that when it hits this thing at 37 kilometers an hour, it splits into splits into four different hyperparticles, blah 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 blah, and you would actually understand what's going on. The only unfortunate thing about this, and holy shit!
Whoa!
Oh my gosh, that was cutting the corner.
Like, you cut the quarter into a corner.
Into a corner. So the only unfortunate thing about God Eater is that in order to actually have like actual like in order to actually like unlock the ability to make the biggest and to make the most wonkiest bullets the galaxy has ever seen, I need to learn how to do this glitch.
Intentionally.
I think it's like I need like what I did there is like press like the what I did was like press the R1 button and then like almost and like and then delay the X button and then hit the edge of that ledge and then somehow I glitched it. I need to figure out how to do that normal, like every single time, all the time. You know, like elevator screaming. You know,
Screaming?
I think it was SGDQ. There's a run of Bionic Commando Rearmed. Basically, it's a game with a lot of glitches, but the most infamous one is where he like slams an elevator, when you do like a certain attack, you scream, right? But if you do an attack on the elevator and then activate it at the same time or whatever, you'll continuously scream like forever.
Okay. And that's it.
And that's it. So basically, he did it once for the entire family to see, right? And then he had a donation incentive in which he said, "This game is about an hour long, so if you don't want to hear the screaming, you can donate to get
rid of the screaming."
And then it ended up to like $1,000 for hype mode, as you call it, infinite screaming mode.
Oh no!
To 3 cents.
3 cents for not.
3 cents for not screaming.
Okay then.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It was a pretty entertaining.
Yeah, it's like so much for that idea.
that was a poorly planned donation incentive. But then this year during SGDQ, he played the original Bionic Commando, and then he tried to jump attack an elevator, and then he played the voice clip for the infinite screaming.
Just played it himself
instead because it
doesn't actually do that.
Yeah.
It's the NES game after all.
Yep. Also, speaking of Monster Hunter community,
Why are you going backwards?
I'm just checking if there's bolts in the gold bolt area.
You're gonna die.
Also, there's a button here, so there's no There's no bolts here. I can press the button.
No, you can't.
The button has been activated.
You cannot press the button.
So what was I talking about again? Oh yeah, Monster Hunter community. There's a couple of people who are into speedrunning, and I'm part of that group.
Oh.
We're just a whole bunch of wannabe speedrunners, right? But ever since Gen came out, like, we've been doing absolutely nothing. So then someone had the idea of like Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate Megalo Percent. Basically, played the game up until the Village 3 Urgent. And like a couple of us looked at that and said, "Yeah, that's a pretty good idea." And then we began routing. like what would you possibly do? What points would possibly like be like reset heavy, and how to get a good run. So, like, which weapons do you use? Which quests do you have to do? How much time do you have to spend farming for better equipment? The necessity of armor. A whole bunch of really, really, really complicated, convoluted, absolutely unnecessary stuff. And then it's like, alright, who's gonna start? And then no one said anything.
There's a question. And by question, I mean answer.
I probably might start doing that, but I'm still playing Yoshi's Island DS. So I might have to save those plans for later. Yoshi's Island DS has only 5 worlds, right?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Yoshi's Island had 6, 7? 7.
7 or 8.
I believe it's 7. Because number 6 is the one where you go into the sky and cause everything to be unhappy land. Other than that, I can't remember. What other games have I played though? Oh my god. Cave Story Polar Star only.
Okay.
Oh no. Why would you do that?
Wait.
It's a half bet.
Polestar, isn't that the one?
That's the first weapon.
the first weapon, the one you start with.
Yes.
The one you start with. It was a semi bet between me and a friend who really likes Cave Story. Like he really likes Cave Story. So I was like, have you ever done Polar Star only? Have you done Polar Star percent before? And it's like, what's that? It's where you beat the game using only the Polar Star.
Only.
Only the Polar Star. So you cannot
no other weapons.
no other weapons,
whatsoever?
no missile launcher.
Wow.
You can't use the weapons that you can't avoid, even though you get them.
Huh.
You can only use the Polar Star. And the one time I did it, I completely forgot to get the arms guard. Which makes it so that you don't de-level in one hit. Basically.
Wait. What?
Basically the Polar Star...
That exists?
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know there was something that would do that.
Yeah, it's
The Nemesis, right?
No, not the Nemesis. It's the item that
Oh.
that
makes you take less level down damage.
Yeah, level down damage. The arms guard. It's in the secret area in the labyrinth. You can sequence break it by using the machine gun, but you need the but if
Except you can't do that if you're doing Polestar percent.
yeah. So you'd have to wait to get the jetpack. And if you're doing the good ending, you're gonna have to wait until you get the good jetpack. Which is when after you leave the area, so that's not fun. So yeah, on my Polar Star percent run, I've completely forgot to get that item.
Wow.
So you've been playing extra hard mode then?
Yeah, so anytime it took more than 5 damage, my Polar Star would level down and I'd be losing so much time. I'll be only doing half as much damage.
I still haven't managed to beat Cave Story yet.
It's been quite a while since I tried playing through
Yeah.
Hell.
Like, I couldn't beat the Doctor. I don't think I could even beat Misery's part of the problem.
Misery's boss fight's not that hard. It's just
It's
if
a
you
lot of
lose-
pattern recognition and
If
such.
you lose your groove, it goes downhill really quickly. But otherwise, you can infinitely farm. You can use Misery to just farm for stuff, which is good because on my Polar Star percent only, I can't take more than 5 damage. Otherwise, I start doing 2 damage, and then I have to beat the Doctor and the Undead Core without taking damage. Otherwise, it'll level down and it'll take forever. It was not fun.
Not having a good time.
I spent like an hour fighting Undead Core with a level 1 Polar Star.
Oh god.
Oh. When?
That's just pain.
This is after I killed Misery, so I can't farm for upgrades anymore.
Because everything's been closed off.
Yeah, because I can't, because there's no more things that drops upgrades, which only Misery can spawn. And as a consequence of that, I also don't have any, like, health upgrades. Or, like, health pickups. And then that made me sad. And not only that, but why am I on this planet? I should be grinding for bolts. Why am I on this planet? I'm getting off of this planet. Give me a second.
You want off this wild ride?
Yeah, let's go with that.
How long are we gonna do this?
After I get to my ship. So, very soon.
Alright.
So I couldn't take more. So I spent an hour fighting Undead Core with he has half health and I have a level 1 Polar Star. I've already killed Sue and Misery by that point. So he's opening up his face a lot more regularly. I have like 10 health, and his attacks do about 4 damage each.
Oh god.
So I basically oh my god, take no damage, and chip away at his health, 1 damage at a time. And then I got to his final phase and get instantly obliterated because I completely forgot what his final phase was about. Because his final phase, he opens up his mouth and spits out 3 projectiles at the same time as an opening.
Yeah.
And I completely forgot about that, got hit by it, and instantly died. And he looked at it, he has like a fifth of his health left, and I was like, oh my god!
No.
That's the worst thing ever.
Oh, it makes a man cry. It makes a man cry. We're done over here.
Yeah, sound kid.
Yeah.
Well, Redacted is also here.
Yeah, let's sign out.